Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshadun Militan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitang Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunathan Vitang Tang Sajivang Sadvaitang Savadutang Harijana Sahitang Krishna Chaitanya Devang Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitangscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Before we get into the Bhagavatam, I'd like to offer my obeisances unto the Sri Guru in my life, the source of my spiritual encouragement and process. And without Sri Guru, both Diksha and Shiksha, I would be swept away by my past conditioning and my past tendency to try to control and enjoy this material world. But by their mercy, the spiritual process has entered my life, and I humbly try to offer them my respects, especially before doing such a nice service as to try and share spiritual wisdom to others. So it's necessary that I get their blessings and mercy. So I want to first of all, offer my respects to them, and then similarly offer my deep love and respects to our entire Gaudiya Guru Varga, the lineage of mercy coming down to my teachers through their teachers, coming the saints that are connected and coming from Krishna himself. And finally I want to offer my obeisances to my spiritual, today just brothers, but maybe sister may come down. Sounds like she could use some rest though. But my spiritual brothers and sisters, the Vaishnavas, and really all of soul kind, even because everyone's eternal nature is that they're a servant of God, a servant of Krishna at the soul. So all will become Vaishnavas eventually in a much future date. So my obeisances to everyone. Vanchakalpatrivishta kripa sindhuvivcha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So we're continuing with Bhagavatam. We see now that only by Vishnu's association, the Lord's association, can we be cleansed, can the mind be cleansed of the dirtiness of the lower modes of nature which are victimizing us. So we'll see what the continuation is next. Yasyang sandaryamanayang Yogino Bhakti Lakshana Ashu Sampadyate Yoga Ashrayang Bhadram Ikshataha. Yasyam, by such systematic remembrance, Sandaryamanayam, and thus being fixed in the habit of Yogina, the mystics, Bhakti Lakshana, being practiced to the devotional service, to the devotional system. Ashu, very soon. Sampadyate, attain success. Yoga, connection by devotional service. Ashrayam, under the shelter of. Vajram, the all-good. Ikshata, which seeing that. Translation, O king, by the system of remembrance and being fixed in the habit of seeing the all-good personal conception of the Lord, one can very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter. Purport. Success of mystic performances is achieved only by the help of the devotional attitude. Pantheism, or the system of feeling the presence of the Almighty everywhere, is a sort of training of the mind to become accustomed to the devotional conception. And it is this devotional attitude of the mystic that makes possible the successful termination of such mystic attempts. One is not, however, elevated to such a successful status without the tinge of mixture in devotional service. The devotional atmosphere created by pantheistic vision develops into devotional service in later days, and that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. It is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 12.5 that the impersonal way of self-realization is more troublesome because it reaches the goal in an indirect way, although the impersonalist also becomes obsessed with the personal feature of the Lord after a long time. So, there's a lot here, because right now he's giving kind of an impersonal nature and learning how to see everything in connection with Vishnu, and learning how to see Vishnu in the connection in the heart. And so in due time, though, if you just focus on the impersonal conception, or don't have a really deep personal conception of the Lord, then it will be good. Any process of mystic elevation is good, but the ideal is to go to the next tier, the next stage. And the next stage is to have a personal connection to the Lord. So that's what's being explained in this verse by Shukadev Goswami, is by the association of Vishnu and being remembered, fully remembering him, you'll very soon attain devotional service to the Lord under his direct shelter, and you'll get that higher process. So the lower process of developing a lifestyle of meditation will get you to the higher process, to be directly associating with the Lord and serving him personally. Yes?
How is experience the Lord everywhere different from seeing the Lord in everything? Like, as we saw in the movie Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj could see Narayan
Yes.
in every single act.
Yes.
How is that difference? Like, how is that different from since we are not that qualified to see him everywhere, right?
Yes.
Like, how are we supposed to experience him in everything?
Well, so it starts with this system of, like, the pantheistic understanding, as Prabhupada is explaining. Understanding the connection of everything to the Lord, everything's connected to the Lord and his energy, and trying to remember that. And then eventually, if you really progress like Prahlad Maharaj, who is quite advanced, he's actually able to see the Lord. It's fixed in his heart, and the Lord has actually come into his vision, and he can see the Lord. He could see the Lord in the pillar. He could see the Lord here, there, and everywhere. So it's not... they're just stages of the same process. We're learning how to see the Lord in everywhere. That's why Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun, I'm the moon, I'm the taste of water. So as you experience the material world, you can say, oh, actually, this is the Lord. The Lord is here, the Lord is here, and so on. Good morning, Tani. Hare Krishna. So, as Prabhupada is saying in this purport, there was a good sentence about it, that the devotional atmosphere created by pantheistic vision develops into devotional service in later days. And that is the only benefit for the impersonalist. So as of right now, our impersonalist understanding, where we're seeing the Lord in the things that are, in His energies, it's helpful to eventually, though, personally see the Lord in all of that. But it's not like an overnight process. It could be if the Lord so wills it. He could give you complete vision all the time. But it's not up to you, actually. But like with Yashoda and Damodar, what actually allowed Yashoda to bind him was, mainly the Lord's mercy, His willingness to be bound, His kripa. But also her endeavor. She made what conquered him, his heart, is seeing the sincere endeavor of the devotee. The Lord will be conquered. So if you're making a sincere attempt in your chanting, in your worship practices like this, eventually the Lord will, and He's seeing every day, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You're putting serious effort into this thing. Then He says, oh, look at my devotee. Like, okay, I'm coming. And then He'll reveal Himself like this. Prahlad Maharaj got that vision from Narada Muni. He sat and heard Bhagavatam for like 10,000 years in the womb of his mother. So that's how Prahlad Maharaj got such a vision. So we might have to do a long time of associating with sadhus and really, getting that, instilled into us. But in making some sincere endeavor. So anyway, but we can try. It depends on His mercy alone. But your endeavor is, just like in this life even you see, or especially when you see a child, like even Abhiram, he comes up and he wants to hand me something. And I don't want at all what he has to hand me. But just because he wants to hand me something, I want to take it. Right? So you make some endeavor for the Lord, and it might not be valuable to the Lord at all. Like my Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He doesn't need it, but he sees, but look, they're approaching me like a child. He wants to hand me something. He's coming to me. Okay, let me take it. Let me accept it. Let me give him something. And so like that. Does that make sense? Okay. You guys are going to tag team soon. Rajovacha Yatha Sandaryate Brahman Dharanayatra Sammata Yadrishiva Haridashu Purushasya Manomalam. Okay. Rajavacha, the fortunate king said, Yatha, as it is, Sandaryate, the conception is made. Brahman, O Brahmana, Dharana, conception. Yatra, where and how. Samata, in a summary. Yadrishi, by the way by which. Va, or. Harit, extricated. Ashu, without delay. Purushasya, of a person. Manaha, of the mind. Malam, dirty things. The fortunate king Parikshit, inquiring further, said, O Brahman, please describe in full detail how and where the mind has to be applied and how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. So you're very fortunate. You're asking questions. Well, how can this happen? Well, we just have to keep reading. And Maharaj Parikshit he's given a general idea in general words, but now Maharaj Parikshit is saying, hey, wait a second, like you are saying, wait a second, I want to know exactly how to do it. And he's like, okay. So now Maharaj Parikshit, on our behalf, he's asking for us. I want to know exactly how the conception can be fixed so that the dirty things in a person's mind can be removed. Purport. The dirty things in the heart of a conditioned soul are the root cause of all troubles for him. A conditioned soul is surrounded by the manifold miseries of material existence, but on account of his gross ignorance, he is unable to remove the troubles due to dirty things in the heart, accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. We know a prayer, right? What is the process for cleansing the dirty things in the heart? Yes. Well, Cheto Darpana Marjanam means the mirror of the heart is cleansed. But what is actually the process? That's Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. This is the process, we know. So we'll get there. This is a problem, though. We have a dirty heart. We should know. So due to his gross ignorance, he's unable to remove the troubles due to the dirty things in the heart, accumulated during the long prison life in the material world. He is actually meant to serve the will of the Supreme Lord, but on account of the dirty things in the heart, he likes to serve his concocted desires. These desires, instead of giving him any peace of mind, create new problems and thus bind him to the cycle of repeated birth and death. We have some desire thinking this will solve our problem, but actually it only further entangles us and creates so many more problems. That's why even myself, I have so many new ideas of new ways to serve and things, but I'm like putting these things before all my guidance and saying, wait a second, is this going to get further entangle me? Is this going to make everything worse? Is this worth doing? We have to check. And if it is approved by the will of the Lord, coming through the will of Guru and Vaishnavas, then we can serve wholeheartedly. This is good. But if it's just our concocted desires, we'll be victimized, actually. We have to be very careful. So these dirty things of fruitive work and empiric philosophy can be removed only by association with the Supreme Lord. The Lord, being omnipotent, can offer his association by his inconceivable potencies. Thus, persons who are unable to pin their faith on the personal feature of the Absolute are given a chance to associate with his Virat Rupa, or the cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord. The cosmic impersonal feature of the Lord is a feature of his unlimited potencies. Since the potent and potencies, the source of power and the actual energies, are identical, even the conception of his impersonal cosmic feature helps the conditioned soul to associate with the Lord indirectly and thus gradually rise to the stage of personal contact, like we were explaining before. Because now it's going to be described the Virat Rupa, like seeing the mountains as like the bones of the Lord, seeing the trees as like the hair of the Lord, seeing the sun as one of the eyes of the Lord, seeing the moon as one of the eyes of the Lord. That'll come in future verses. But this will help us if we're reminded, because we see the trees, we see the mountains, we see the clouds. Clouds are described as like the hairlines of the Lord and things. We see all these things. So it helps us to remind, this is a facet of God. This is a facet of God. Really, everything's a facet of God. But it's training our mind to see like that. And then eventually, with the right, gradually we'll be able to personally see the Lord. So let's see what Prabhupada says. Gradually rise to the stage of personal contact. Maharaj Parikshit was already directly connected with the personal feature of the Lord Sri Krishna, and as such, he had no need to inquire from Shukadeva Goswami about where and how to apply the mind in the impersonal Virat Rupa of the Lord. But he inquired after a detailed description of the matter for the benefit of others. Remember, he's there before thousands of sages as well, who are unable to conceive of the transcendental personal feature of the Lord as the form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Like even a lot of times when new people come here, we use the word God a lot, and I don't focus so much on the deity or even so many pastimes of Krishna, because for them the personal conception of the Lord, it's not so they won't be able to see it properly without making some offenses. So why present them with that understanding of the Lord? So first, give them the more impersonal, and even like Jesus, this was his all beginning preaching, like Shukadeva Goswami is doing right now. Maharaj Parikshit, he didn't need it, but we should let people know the existence of God in the ways that they can already understand with their conception of life, and that's what makes this very valuable. And then you can gradually lead them up to the reality of the Lord's more intimate expressions of himself, chiefly represented of Radha and Krishna and Braj. But, in order to get there, you have to build the foundation for them. And not for them, even for you. You might have to go back to learning how to see the Lord impersonally a bit, and then more and more, then you can actually appreciate the deities on the altar, because you're understanding who they are and what's going on here, and it's not just statues, or you're not doing just a bunch of rituals. You're actually feeling their presence. So it's a good exercise. So we had no need, though, to inquire from Shukadeva Goswami about where and how to apply the mind in the impersonal Virat Rupa of the Lord. But he inquired after a detailed description of the matter for the benefit of others, who are unable to conceive of the transcendental personal feature of the Lord as the form of eternal knowledge and bliss. The non-devotee class of men cannot think of the personal feature of the Lord. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, the personal form of the Lord, like Rama or Krishna, is completely revolting to them. They have a poor estimation of the potency of the Lord. In the Bhagavad Gita 9:11, it is explained by the Lord himself that people with a poor fund of knowledge deride the Supreme Personality of Godhead by taking him to be a common man. You know, that's all the people, they're like, oh, well, Krishna had so many wives and things like this. That's why you don't tell them about Krishna right away, because avajananti ma mudha manushim tanumashrita. Hare Krishna, Stella. Yes, good. That's very nice. Manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So he's saying that the fools, they deride me when I assume a human form. And why? Because they don't know my higher nature. Param bhavam ajananto. And as the Lord and the Master of everything, they don't understand. But it's good. In the beginning, we just learn how to see God. Look at the mountains, the bones of the Lord, the sun, the moon, the eyes of the Lord, and so on. And we can learn how to see the Lord and the things we can see. And then we can tell them about the personal glories of the Lord later on, when they've realized some conception that there's a higher guiding force, there's a higher something. And then what that something is, who that something is, can be revealed later to them. We're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, if you don't know. Every day this is what we do. So by the inconceivable potency of the Lord, he can move in human society or any other society of living beings and yet remain the same omnipotent Lord, without deviating in the slightest form from his transcendental position. So for the benefit of men who are unable to accept the Lord in his personal eternal form, Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami how to fix the mind on him in the beginning, and then the Goswami replied in detail as follows. Divyanshu, you have to go, or you can log on and you can maybe yeah. So that's smart. You can do like that. So let's see what he starts saying. What are the first things in which we can start to see the Lord? And this will be really healthy for us. And Stella, you came in at a good time, because this will be a nice exercise how we can see Krishna, or we can see God. We might even want to call him Krishna. You just see God, the controller, or the divinity in all that be. So Sri Shuka Vacha Jita Sano Jita Shwaso Jita Sango Jitendriya Stule Bhagavato Rupe Manasandara Yediya Sri Shukavacha. Shukadeva Goswami said, Jitasana, controlled sitting posture. Jita Shwasaha, controlled breathing process. Jita Sangaha, controlled association. Jita Indriya, controlled senses. Stule, in the gross matter. Bhagavata, unto the personality of Godhead. Rupe, in the feature of. Mana, the mind. Sandadaya, must apply. Diya, by intelligence. Shukadeva Goswami answered, one should control the sitting posture. This is called what? Sitting, proper seated. Asana, right? You took a yoga teacher training, right? So this, asana, very important. Control the sitting posture. Then regulate the breathing process. This is called what?
Pranayama.
Pranayama. Here they say Jita Shwasaha, but it's called pranayama. So next after asana. Then, it says here, for the breathing process by the yogic pranayama. And thus control the mind and senses. Meaning taking the senses inward. Instead of focusing them out here. So what's that called? You remember? You remember in yoga teacher training? What comes after pranayama in the 8 limbs of yoga?
I'd have to restudy.
Yeah, pratyahara it's called. To take the senses inward. Like Krishna mentions how the transcendental person is like a tortoise, right? He keeps his limbs inward. So the transcendental personality, when they sit for meditation, they take their senses inward. And they're not absorbed what's going on out here in the thoughts or out in the world. They're going inward. So, and thus control the mind and senses, and with intelligence apply the mind to the gross potencies of the Lord, called the Virat Rupa. Purport. The materially absorbed mind of the conditioned soul does not allow him to transcend the limit of the bodily conception of self. And thus the yoga system for meditation, controlling the sitting posture and breathing process, and fixing the mind upon the Supreme, is prescribed in order to mold the character of the gross materialist. Even like our Goswamis, and even in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, before sitting for chanting, they would do some pranayama, like for 5 minutes of actually breathing. So it's in the Hari Bhakti Vilas, it's in the Shastras. So it's even here too, before sitting. It's good. That's why in the morning, when doing Gayatri Mantra, that's happening. It's done silently, and you focus on the breathing, and you focus the mind on the meaning of the mantra. And actually, interestingly enough, our 7 Gayatris, the first one is the regular Brahma Gayatri, is a more impersonal mantra. It's not completely impersonal, and our acharyas teach us how to see full personally in the mantra. But generally speaking, for the public, many people chant the Brahma Gayatri, and many see it as an impersonal mantra. So, but then it tells us how to more personally connect through the Guru Gayatri, through Gauranga, through the Gaura Gayatri, and then through Krishna, the Gopal mantra, and then the Kama Gayatri, Radha and Krishna. So anyway, all of these things can be understood, but you could do this for about 10 minutes, and when you get initiated, and this itself can be your how you can control the mind and apply the mind, so that when you do your chanting and all your other activities, this is the main focus. So this is why we do these things. And it's recommend, every day, Dhyayan Stuvangs Tasya Yashastri Sandhyam Vande Guru. So Dhyayan, I'm meditating, Stuvangs and praising Tasyan to him, the spiritual master, Yashastri Sandhyam, and his glories 3 times a day. So one of the times of the day is in the Guru Gayatri. That's we should understand. But anyhow, these are the things that we're doing. But in the Gayatri, or even before you chant, maybe if you just take the time to sit nicely in a good, comfortable seat where you'll be nicely situated, and you just take do some regulated breathing, slow down your breath, deepen your breath. This will control the mind and slow down the mind, and then you can go into your chanting nicely. Prabhupada didn't want us to get too heavy into it, because some people, they used to do the Nadi Shodan breathing, and like so on, and so he's stopped. You just chant Hare Krishna, please. But it's if you're doing it to try to just slow down your mind so you can chant Hare Krishna and not overemphasizing it, it is good, and it's mentioned here in the Bhagavatam. So it molds the character of the gross materialist, prescribed in order to mold the character of the gross materialist. Unless such materialists are able to cleanse the materially absorbed mind, it is impossible for them to concentrate upon thoughts of transcendence. And to do so, one may fix one's mind on the gross material or external feature of the Lord. The different parts of the gigantic form of the Lord are described in the following verses. The materialistic men are very anxious to have some mystic powers as a result of such a controlling process. But the real purpose of yogic regulations is to eradicate the accumulated dirty things like lust, anger, avarice, and all such material contaminations. If the mystic yogi is diverted by the accompanying feats of mystic control, then his mission of yogic success is a failure, because the ultimate aim is God realization. So this is really important. People are meditating for all kinds of reasons, but your meditation is not, okay, I need to manifest this thing. Some funny thing happened. I fell asleep when I was chanting there before, so I got up very early today. And Parth was saying, for whatever reason, he had some desire in the kitchen. And he said, I've never seen Ram Das sleeping before. And so somehow I get there, he walks in the room, and the first thing he sees is me sleeping. And he said, wow, okay. So he manifests some desire. But, that's just proof he's doing his devotional service. Krishna fulfills all desires, even if they're very silly, like just seeing me sleeping. But somehow or other, he got fulfilling of that desire. But anyway, when we are meditating, we should not have all these other desires. Like, I'm here. My ultimate aim is to realize the Lord. That's my ultimate aim of my meditations here. Your meditation is, I'm going to meditate to achieve the power to manifest all of my hopes and dreams and all the wealth and this and things for all my desires. This is all filth, a dirty mind. We should understand this, and we want to be involved in the process that will cleanse the mind. Realizing that lust, anger, avarice, and greed are all material contaminations, and they're actually they're ruining our life, actually, and causing more and more problems. But if our ultimate aim of our meditation is realizing God and loving and serving God, which is even more higher than realizing God, then we can be properly situated. So, don't be diverted by the accompanying feats of mystic control. Then your mission of yogic success will be a failure, because the ultimate aim is God realization. So that person is therefore recommended to fix his gross materialistic mind by a different conception, and thus realize the potency of the Lord. As soon as the potencies are understood to be instrumental manifestations of the transcendence, one automatically advances to the next step, and gradually the stage of full realization becomes possible for him. So we're going to end there, but what Shukadeva Goswami and what Krishna is going to reveal here in the Bhagavatam is how to see Krishna through the gross material senses, by looking at the sun, by looking at the moon, by looking at the mountains, the trees, the rivers. All these things, you'll be able to have a conception of the Lord. And then gradually, as we take this, we can get to the conception of worshiping Krishna in his beautiful Nila form, and even Radha and his associates in Braj and so on. But that's very high. You have to earn, or maybe be granted entrance into that. So first, realize, where am I? Where am I really at? Where are we here? We're in the material world, and we associate with material things. So learn how to see God in the material things, and that's what the Bhagavatam is going to teach us, and then it'll teach us how to gradually progress from there. And then we'll actually learn how to see God, and we'll be able to actually appreciate God on the altar, and so on, and in his holy name, and so on. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. So thanks for joining. Stella, thank you for joining. This is one of the unique benefits of being in an ashram, that you can get these things every day. And then you can also share with your husband, who's out working for your well-being. So you can be the one who spiritually learned some things, and you can share what you learn with him. And I'm sure he's heard many of these things before, and you guys can have really positive communication about these things. So you're okay with whatever is going on? You're situated okay? You shifted it. Okay. Why? So anyhow, no problem.